What's going on, man? Hey, man, we here at the Black Boy Art Show. We made it happen. We finally got PaperFrank. Hey, man, it is an honor. It's a joy to have you here, man. I just remember Black Boy Art Show sending you a DM like a few years ago, and you was way too much of a celebrity. And you said nothing to us, but it's okay. Look, it worked out.
We're gonna talk about that too. We're gonna talk about that. It wasn't y'all. It was a personal problem. It was a personal problem. I was going through some shit.
Oh man, it is all good, man. So tell me how it feels, man. Because I know us as visual artists, like we spend a lot of time in our own bubbles, and so how does it feel to be around so many other creative brothers, man?
I need to be around them more. I think now, and going back to you hit me up back in the day. I was just trying to figure out where I was going in life, and I had to finally get to the other side of the tunnel. And then I realized I need community. Community is needed in a certain way, you know what I'm saying? Not that I thought I was a certain person, but I was trying to figure out who that person is. While people were hitting me up for stuff, I was blowing everything up. I was just not, because I knew I wasn't ready to do anything, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't right with myself. So I feel like it's a perfect round circle moment, because I did my first live painting in this building 10 years ago.
Word.
Yeah, I haven't been here in a long time.
So you haven't been here since you haven't been to by the way, we're at the Ambient Plus studio. Shout out to them. You did your first live mural, live painting here 10 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first time you've been back here?
First time.
So it's like a full circle situation. So this is almost like a divine situation, huh?
Yep. Divine timing.
Bro. Dope, bro. I think that's what was the live painting?
The live painting was, I got this big tunic I used to paint. That's when I used to paint the rabbits all the time. Okay. It was a giant gold tunic. I want to say the canvas was about the size of this wall. It was the first time I really got offered to do something live. And I wasn't that confident, but I killed it because I had a little audience. So I think it's very crazy to be back in here. Even walking in, I was just I got chills a little bit, because I'm when I first started, when nobody knew who I was for real, I was in here. So now I'm back.
Man, it is real dope to be a part of that story. So PaperFrank, so a lot of people they know about you, but there's so many people that don't know. So where did your name come from, PaperFrank?
I had a clothing line back in the day, me and an old friend, and it was called Paper Clothing. And I was still doing art, but I wasn't known for it. And I was like, man, I just need a nickname, an artist name. And so we was I wanted my name to be Frankie Paper. My family called me Frankie. Okay. And my homie was she was like, nah, that's whack. She was like, PaperFrank. And I didn't like the name. I was like, that's so corny. Yeah. But everybody started calling me Paper. It didn't stop. Because the brand was called Paper Clothing. We made t-shirt stuff. And I remember one time I gave out some shirts on Go Skateboarding Day here in Atlanta, and everybody wore them. And that's the year all the skateboarders went from the skate park and skated all down Peachtree through the lights and the traffic. Wow. And it was on the news, and everybody had this red t-shirt on that had the little bunny rabbit. Right. But everybody would just call me PaperFrank, and it just stuck. I hated the name. I hated it. Now, yes.
What was that piece that you felt really catapulted your artist career? If you could describe what that particular piece was that really moved the needle for you.
I feel one time I painted Erykah Badu just on some. I'm not a fan when people paint celebrities often to give it to them, because celebrities, they don't appreciate it when you do that.
Right. Because they're like, I don't want a picture of me.
And then they get so many of them. Yeah. It makes, I don't like to. I'm more so on the artist side, so I'm just it don't put your value down, because they'll show it or whatever, but that's that. That's not gonna give you a sale.
I see.
It might. But I painted Erykah Badu, but it was the first time I changed my style. It wasn't about her. She tweeted about it, but it was the first time I actually tried to do something a little more realistic with the characters. And I want to say, working at City of Ink, I was apprentice at the time. Maya, knowing, being close friends with Erykah Badu, that's how she saw it. And I feel like that moved a little bit, but it never really was one piece. It was always, I always would do bodies of work really quick. Okay. And people would be like, how do you paint all that so quick? I'm like, I'm impatient. Yeah. So I taught myself to do quality stuff as quick as I need to do. I taught myself shortcuts that people probably would never find out, to just do stuff super hyper fast. Because I don't like spend too much time on a piece. Yeah. I respect artists that be like, it took me 6 months. And I'm like, cool, I could have made 150 pieces in 6 months. You know what I'm saying? You got it. But it's not for me.
What's this piece right here?
This one is just, it's not really a name for it. I painted it because it's how I've been feeling lately. A lot of people think it's like anxiety or bad. So I'm like, it's not really a bad thing. It's just noticing that I know that I'm being watched, and sometimes not always by good people. It's not always people wanting the best for you. It's sometimes just people just, right now I'm in this point in my career where I thought I was big back then. And I think the more since I've been, I guess, maturing, I'm working harder. It's the hardest I've worked in my career. And I'm having all these new eyes on me all the time and all that, but it's also me surrounded by, nothing. I got my mountain of the confidence I built for myself, and I'm sure, but I'm like unsure. But it's really how everybody feels, but nobody really wants to say that. You always want to appear the most confident, but I feel like you're the most confident when you're the most transparent. You know what I mean?
And I feel like as an artist, a little bit of like anxiousness and like anxiousness and anxiety is a part of the fuel that creates. Because you have to create from a place and you have to conquer something. Like there's something so playful and jovial about your art. I wonder where that comes from, because when you look at you as a 300-pound man, you know what I'm saying, with the tattoos, one might not think that this comes out of you. Kind of talk about like where this like youthful, jovial, joyful sort of like direction comes from.
So that's really, I play with the idea of today's idea of masculinity. And then I didn't really have a real childhood. I had a childhood, but I had to grow up at the age of like 7. I had to take care of my little sister. I'm not gonna put people on blast, but my life was super rough to where I didn't get to enjoy certain stuff. I would get jealous of the kids who got to hang out with their parents, do all this cool stuff. They had a stable home. I had to be a literal full-grown adult with sense at like 7 and on. So I never really knew what it was like to be relaxed. I had to move around my whole life. That was another thing. So it's just like,
were you in foster care?
No.
Okay.
But it got close.
Okay.
It got close a few times, but I made sure that wasn't gonna happen because I had my little sister.
Okay.
If it was just me, I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
But I was like, she's not gonna get separated from me in no way. But so that's mainly the main reason why I paint the kids all the time, because I feel like, we never really, kids are so pure, but who talks about the kids who never got to be a kid, So I've just been this, I feel like the older I get, I'm kind of reverting into a child, but not immature, childlike mentally, but just more so, everything's not so serious. Because I had to be so serious my whole life.
Exactly.
So I'm like, it's funny because I am a big man and I paint this, you know what I'm saying? And that's the part of the masculinity part, because people see the flowers and who never see me before. And when they see me, it's like daunting to them. Like, I used to paint the pink ones too all the time. I switched to yellow because yellow's my favorite color, but I used to do the pink flowers, the pink lemonade thing. That was my thing. But that's really the play on, like, I can paint whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? It don't gotta be a rapper. It don't gotta be hard and gritty. I'm painting, and it's gonna look good and you're gonna like it.
Yeah. And believe it or not, we all feel like this. You know what I'm saying? We don't think that we're safe enough to express this side of us. And I can imagine this healing a lot of that childhood trauma, a lot of that childhood stuff. And most of these artists, like, it's like, I always, challenge artists to use their art as a healing mechanism for their trauma that they don't know that they're like experiencing or that they have experienced. And so it's real dope to see how you've like super overcome and still overcoming, because it's a journey, you know what I'm saying? And because you're still learning, like about yourself, and it's cool to kind of see the journey through all your pieces. And so excited for today, man. What you looking forward to most today, man?
Just the people. I actually personally myself want to walk around and meet some of the artists and look at their stuff, because I respect people who do setups like this often, because you have to come set your stuff up. This is the first time I actually did it myself. I wanted to be a part of the process, but usually I have people do it for me. And today I brought one of my business partners and good friends who helped me make a toy. So we're going to have all the toys out. But I think it's super dope how people, because at the end of the day, every time you show art, it's so embarrassing. Think about posting on Instagram. It's embarrassing. You can be lit. It's still embarrassing because it's people. Okay, I got I'm a 200,000 followers. You know, you'll post something that might get 100 likes. That's still a lot of people. Put 100 people in a room, that's a lot of people. But it feels embarrassing. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like being an artist, period. You know what I'm saying? You're always putting exactly how you feel out on the table, and you're trying to tell people, this is how I felt, and I think it's good enough for you to buy it. Yeah. You got to build yourself up.
That's it, man. And I think that, like, for me, my canvas is the show. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I have learned how to put myself out there and already be okay with positive and negative responses. I'm already okay with that. I've already checked off how a person might feel.
For sure.
And it's like, for me, that's kind of become my fuel.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, bro, this was great, man. I'm excited for the day. I'm glad this worked out, man. And hey, man, y'all catch PaperFrank at Black Boy Art Show Atlanta today. Well, you missed it if you're not here, but you'll see this interview, and let's get it.